everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to take this 1988 fj62 that I found out in Pennsylvania and try to bring her back to life. That means we got to do the brakes, give her a real good bath, and kind of go through the entire interior and drivetrain to make sure that she's ready to go back online. So cheers, I'm so glad you stopped by, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Pull the seats, the doors, the battery. If it ain't the motor, take it off.
Currently, right now, it has a brand new battery, and the battery's already dead. So, let's go ahead and jump this guy and see if we can get her to turn over. So once the truck is running, it actually sounds fairly decent. I just think it's been sitting for a long time, so it needs to run a little bit. One thing I did address as soon as I got the truck here is a second-hand brake booster. That was the issue where you would hit the brake, if you remember from the last video, and it would just want to stall, and I had to drive it with the handbrake, which is super dangerous. So that's all replaced. It's a super easy 4 bolts, comes right off. So that's where we're at here. I don't know if you can hear in the video, but there is some rattling going down here. I believe that's the fan clutch. The truck did come with a brand new fan clutch, or second-hand one. It's there sitting on the seat. So we're gonna have to put that in there. Hopefully that bearing noise will go away. But as far as I know, that's the only thing really wrong with the motor in here. Rockers aren't great. Of course, they're rusting out like all the other FJ60s that I ever pick up. See the giant hole there. More rust on the quarter there. And fortunately do not have a plate light, another one that I can put on here. This one works. It's just a little funny looking for these old FJs. I'll have to see what I can kind of dig up in my parts bin. But right now that works just great. Don't worry, we have the factory moss that comes with it. It actually comes on the window sticker. Just like all the rust, it comes on the window sticker when you get one of these FJs. Again, the rockers on the passenger side are pretty crunchy. The rear passenger has a dent there, and if you can see that, as well as the driver's. So I do have doors I could potentially put on here, but with the bed liner, I think it'll be really hard to match a color unless I can get that stuff off. The inside is a complete utter mess. There's a whole bunch of old things that the old owner left in here. There's that old brake booster that I changed out. Seat has a giant hole in it, which is typical of these. Not sure what I'm doing there. I don't have any brown interior stuff, so it might be hard to fix that. Dash is completely cracked and broken, of course. So as you guys can see, this truck is not that bad, but it's not amazing either. A lot of the stuff on here that needs to be fixed, I do have those parts in my parts bins. So what's the initial plan for this truck? Well, basically, I just want to bring it back to life, to the point where somebody can actually enjoy it. You know, fix the front end, figure out what's going on with all this rhino liner, figure out the battery draw, clean the entire interior out, and POR 15 the frame. So if there's something else that you want to see done to this truck, comment below. I'd love to hear about it. It's probably going to take me a couple weeks to get this truck back on the road. I do have the fuse cover. It's broken in half, but it looks like the clips are still intact. So I might be able to glue that back together and actually use it, which would be great. So the first thing I like to do when I do one of these trucks is I like to strip the entire set of seats out, so it's easier to get all the carpets out, as well as the kick panels. There's 4 of those. Those screws can be kind of a pain in the butt to get out, but I've kind of done it so many times that I have some tricks up my sleeve. Sometimes you gotta hammer into the screws so you can loosen up the rust on them, but for the most part they will come out. So now that the majority of the seats are out, I just want to review what size bolts it takes to get these in and out. So these front seats are 14 millimeter. There's 4 of them. If you leave this bracket in here, you only need to take that one off. I will take those out in a later time to get the carpet out. The rear bench seat is on with 12 millimeters. There's 4 of them here, as well as the latch. So you just need to pull up on the back latch there and it should all come out. This back bench seat has 10 millimeters right there. And that little like bridge part will come up on both sides and that whole seat will come out. So getting the center console out is pretty similar in both 60s and 62s. It is just going to be 8 millimeter screws, which are actually, you can use a screw, but I usually just use the socket because you will strip these out. There's 1 up here and 4 here. At a 62, there is the heater switch here. You also want to remember that you want to pull that little knob there as well, or it won't come free. But that's pretty much the basis of getting a center console out of one of these trucks. So I just put this brand new battery in the 62. I can tell that there's a power draw. If you see when I put this here, it's gonna spark. That tells me that something is on, and I found the culprit. The culprit is, in fact, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, the rear tail light brake lights are on, if you can see there. So let me show you real quick what the fix of that is. It's pretty simple. So we're gonna dive inside to where the brake pedal is and I'll show you exactly what's going on there. So if you look at the brake pedal here, there's a little bit of a sensor up there, which you can kind of see. I'll try to zoom in the best I can. That has a little rubber pad. So I went ahead and pulled this pedal from parts truck. You can see there's this rubber pad there, as well as on the sensor right there. So if you can see, somebody had tried to fix it with a screw, and I'll cue that in up there, and that is causing the short in the brake lights, which is keeping them on. So once that rubber pad goes back in, it's gonna fix everything. From what I understand, you can still get that rubber piece for like $2 at Toyota. I'm just pulling the brake pedal from another parts truck because I have it. So we're gonna go ahead and throw all that stuff in and see if those brake lights go out, and I do not have a draw on my battery anymore. So how do you know when your brake booster is bad? You can actually hear it hissing. So if you hear this one, you can hear that the pedal is getting soft. It does not want to hold. And you can hear it hissing when the motor is on. So that's how you know. So we just got everything installed in here. I do want to point out something under here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but this is actually a button for the pedal. So you can see there, the black rubber needs to be pushing the button in order for the lights to go out. I know that's not really showing it very well. I'll get the one I just pulled out and show you what needs to happen. But so let's go check and see if we're getting a short. I know I didn't go through that process super in depth. It's just a really tight space. But let's check the battery, see if we're still getting a draw. Look at that, no spark. Let's go check the lights. Boom. No more consistent brake lights on. That's great. Woo, win for the day. All right, so we're gonna take the 62 on a quick test drive just to check the brake booster and make sure it's working. Right now, the brake booster seems very firm, as it should. So check that all out. Woo.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
Guys, that's gonna do it for this week's Mize adventure. As you can see, the 1988 fj62 is finally coming around. There has been tons of work that I've done to it in the last week, and there's plenty more that needs to be done in the upcoming weeks. It's finally nice here in Virginia, finally, so I'm really gonna be able to take as much time as I need to focus on it and really give it the love that it deserves before it goes back online. If you like this type of stuff, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, like and share these videos, as it keeps me motivated to keep on getting back out here to do stuff like this. And I just want to say that I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, and thank you so much for that. So I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.